Okay, yeah, Pierre said I shouldn't share this because I look like one of those YouTubers. I said, well, I'm a little bit old for that. I shared the video with you this morning, so
Yeah, I was saying to you, it's the OG Ferrari. It's the one that Akon had in his video, I'm So Paid.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
I got to drive that yesterday, a couple of days ago. That was amazing. So I also did that thing. If anybody else is a car fanatic, that was an awesome experience. I must confess, I'm definitely doing that one again. And then if you're a car fanatic, I also shared on Twitter the other week. I did got to drive on the Grand Prix circuit in Portugal in a 200 grand Mercedes AMG GT. And I said to after the drive in this yesterday or the other day to my wife, I want one, I want one. And then I looked at the price tag and I thought, no, that's just silly. Anyway, hope you are all well. And I am going to share with you today. I share with you all the time what I am doing and why. And I thought today would be a good time to do this in view of the fact I'm just helping a friend at the moment who's late to the party, but getting involved in crypto and some mining stocks and gold and things. So at the end of this, I will share with you what I have created for him in the last few days. And he's up 7%, I think, in the first week or so. And what I've tried to do is to balance it again as well. Made a lot of money on stocks on the recent rebound. I am now getting very twitchy. And so I'm going to go through that as well and show how I'm thinking of scaling out of things and how I hedge things all the time. And then I've just had the next latest interest payment on my high yield stocks as well. And that after 2 months exactly, the first $9,632.96 I invested in high yield ETFs has yielded me 972.62 in interest. And I will share that with you. And also share with you, I bought some crypto yesterday. I actually unbelievably paid 105 grand for some more Bitcoin. Not a whole one, but part of one. And I also bought some more of my A grade. For members of my investing group, I will be doing a detailed update in the next few days when I get time. We are traveling at the moment, but I'm going to share with all of you some of the crypto I bought as well, and why I think Bitcoin is going to continue to go higher. And I said in January that I thought that it could well go to 200K this year. And last year in February, I did say that I thought it would hit 100K. And it wasn't until November until I got that bit right. So we live in hope, fingers and toes crossed. And so at the beginning of the year, I did my investing plan. I did my usual search in my tea leaves to try to guesstimate and calculate what I think is going to happen in the coming year and how I was positioning myself to be able to take advantage of that, whilst at the same time trying to cover myself in case I got it wrong and everything turned against me. And I've been doing this for years. And the last 5 years, I have been defensive the last 2 or 3 years on stocks, but yet still managed to well outperform the S&P. So my investing plan for the year, if you go back and have a look and in any of my previous posts, I'm going to share quite a few of you today, some of which I've shared before. And you got to go, those who come all the time and go, oh, he's done that bit before. But what I'm then going to do is show you the reasoning for why I bought more yesterday, what I bought, and also, as I say, what I've started to build a portfolio for the aforementioned friend. So, and as I said in this initial video, I'm not content to just put money in the S&P. I am not a great believer in that at all. I talked about Trump and I spoke about, I know somewhere in here I actually mentioned if he went down the tariff route, how that could affect things. But I was talking about the view of that I went here and I said 25% of my portfolio tied up in physical metals and cash, waiting to reinvest in mining and uranium stocks. I have been buying mining stocks, bought some more in the last few days as well. And so I am now probably around 30% of my portfolio is invested in physical metal and mining stocks. Mining stocks give me leverage, and I've explained all that before. The good thing is all of this is all using my M2. So I use, when it comes to FX, I am 70% a technical trader and I use 30% then fundamentals to filter trades. When I am investing in gold, metal, and even crypto, I am spending 70% of it is research on fundamentals, and the technical, then the M2, I use for the entries. There is a poll appeared, actually. Is that supposed to be there?
Yeah, that's me. I was just trying to check
Okay.
with
Okay. It
people
just
how many setups do they have for the week ahead.
okay. It just
Yeah.
came up in big letters on the television, and I thought I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, no,
So
don't
then I
worry.
was talking in January. I said that the clues, for example, Bitcoin could do a bigger drop. See the video, and I have orders to buy more at 81,000, which I did. I also later on with my investing group said, and I think I did it with you guys as well, said I had an order in at 76,500 on the recent pullback, which I also caught as well. So again, all of this is supposed to be impossible to predict what is going to happen in markets next. And Nobel Prize winners have proved that it's not possible. And yet I seem to do reasonably well doing this game. And the reason is to me is I use a mixture of common sense and I am looking at fundamental reasons, the logic of what goes on around the world, and where I think the smart money is going to go next. And I'm going to show you all of that in a second as well. So, and talked about stocks, saying I thought that they would probably rise for a short term, for a honeymoon period, and concerns that the FANG stocks especially overvalued. I bought most of the FANG stocks in the recent dip on the 9th of April and done very well out of them. But I am now getting very twitchy, and I'm going to explain all of that as well. And that again is using technicals to give me a clue about what I think is going to happen next. So all of this lot, if you want to really understand the way I do things, then you need to find the time to do this. I have meetings regularly with people and they book me for a call and I say, did you watch last week's webinar? Oh, I haven't had time yet. I did. Have you watched this? No, I didn't. Well, you don't need to go off buying any other fancy course or anything else. I lay my cards out with you all the time in advance what I'm going to do. And so get in the habit of taking the time. And so then we had weekly analysis, how crypto approach the week ahead. Oh, sorry. So what I was going to say is if you go to the home page and you want to find old posts, then all you need to do is go to the home page and you scroll down and I put my forex analysis in here and then recordings of the live sessions or anything to do with investing are in here and you click read more and you can get to all of the previous articles. And so let me go down here. So if I click on here, my internet's slow, but then again, I've got about 50 windows open as usual. I mean, I said on the 7th of May, Bitcoin to the moon, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. And you can see all the 5 most recent posts I've done in here. And so I explained during the crash, I'd had a really good month because my portfolio was well balanced, not just in stocks, for reasons I've explained all along as well. So the 5 most recent are in here. This was referring to those high yield stocks I've just ETFs I just talked about. I built a balanced portfolio, and I say at the moment we're on for 45% per annum yield and no drop in the value. In fact, the value of the ones I bought has gone up as well. And I explained in there what I was doing and why I decided to get involved when I had. And then back down here, we're looking at, I was talking in February again, and why I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. And if you then click on here, you can go back to see older entries as well as. And in older entries, I was looking, you can go back years and years and years, but you can see where I was been talking about gold and silver. And then here about successful trading and investing to me is all about catching the right cycle at the right time. So again, all of that's in here. My new teeth in crypto portfolio in 2024, what I was buying and why. Then if we go into here, this is an article we posted a lot. This is how I join the dots. And again, this is the thinking. So in January, I'm thinking Trump's coming along, what effect that's going to have on the stock market. If he starts causing chaos, I need to have some gold protection. On the other hand, he's been really positive and pro crypto, as are the people around him and his sons. And therefore, I was going to focus speculatively on that as well. So these are links to various articles that we've shown you in the past, but say they're all in here, and you can go back through the years to see what we were doing and why. And so on TradingView, I just shown you on the one of the articles going back. On the 14th of January was when I was saying I thought it looked as though Bitcoin was getting top heavy. Why? Not rocket science, because it was coming up to the then all-time high of 107, 108,000. So in here, I said I thought that it was going to drop further and I had an order at 81,000. And again, this is all to do with patience and discipline and waiting. I waited until it got down here at 81,000 a month later. And a month in the scheme of things is nothing. But as a result of which, the Bitcoin I bought then is currently up 31% in 2 months. And then I bought again. I told you in a live meeting I was buying at 76,500. And therefore I did that again. And that was an even better return. So that now is up 40%. And then in a live training session here on the 6th of May, I think I just clicked on it, I talked about why I thought Bitcoin was still bullish, and that's up 10%. Now, as I say, I've just bought some yesterday, which I could never envisage I would be willing to do it, but I've used the profits in general from trades I've made on smaller crypto, but I'm also moving some monies out of stocks and into crypto now. So I'm going to go through that with you in a moment as well. What else have I got on here? So this was the article. I keep going back to that. I don't know what I've done in here. Now, this was an article at the beginning of the year. Oh, I linked to from this article, 2025, my plan. I explained this was a very detailed report from Fidelity Digital Asset Group and why they were saying it's not too late to enter crypto. And if you recall from the webinar in 2020, when I said once the big boys come in, that's when this is really going to take off. And that is what is going on now. And again, this is your link about cycles. So we'll put the links to all of these in the blog post. And this is catching the right cycle at the right time, i.e. getting into crypto in 2020, getting gold in 2022, etc. And so all of that is in here, and you just need to basically go back through. And then in March, I said a gold update and the next big cycle I'm invested in. And I talked about crypto, and I talked about what I was going to do next. And again, all of this lot, there's a university course in here, and it's cost you either $500 for lifetime membership or $70 for a month, but it's all here. This then is referring to these high yield stocks I've just explained. I am currently on 45+% now return, and the asset has actually gone up in value. And these are they. And at the moment, for example, I didn't buy Tesla of late. I was very nervous about Tesla. And I actually said in a podcast a month ago, a guy asked me, I said, what do you think about Tesla? And I said, well, Musk has to get away from the government, and he has to be seen to be taking charge again with Tesla. And he really needs to come up with something with either the robots or batteries or something new, because this, let's face it, the sale of the cars is declining significantly. And therefore, what did he do last week? He put out a dancing robot, which seems nuts, but that's where he's going with all of this. And suddenly it shot up. I am in Tesla, and Tesla is paying me 106% dividend per year, and the value of the ETF has gone up as well. So this is nuts. This is not something you put your house on, but as part of a balanced portfolio and a little bit of a risk play, it's worth doing. And I will probably put another 10K in over the next month or two. The downside is if we do get a crash, it will not do as well. So I'm at the tipping point at the moment, deciding what to do. And again, all of these are the more links about what we were doing. And this is talking about, I showed you my live account at the time. My P&L on the day was up 13, and the P&L at the time was 509. Now, I hedged all of this with an option put on the NASDAQ. So if the stock market tanks, then my high yield stocks should be covered by the put. The put at the moment is in negative, but that's okay. Now, the reason why and things that have gone on the impact that all of this has had. I spoke in a webinar on the Tuesday the 8th, so you find the recording. I was explaining that we were getting down to a point with the bond market that the bond market could break Trump. And if he was going to blink, this would be the time. This is what happened to Liz Truss in the UK. The Bank of England, basically, in the bond market, shafted her. And that's why she was so short-lived as a prime minister. I think many people now will be wishing that she was still in power in view of the idiots that are currently there. But this is the 9th of April. So 2 days after the webinar, and I'm saying, look, if this gets down here, sorry, I'm on the wrong chart. This gets down here for the bond market. This is going to get Trump. If he's ever going to blink, this is going to be it. And what did it do? And I just got the wrong chart up initially. The very next day, the S&P rebounded, and the S&P rebounded 22%. And I said to you 2 weeks ago when it was stuck in here, if it gets through here, through all these EMAs, and I think there was a fib in here as well, if it gets through here, the market makers, Wall Street, will want to push it to 6,000 without a doubt. Again, go back and listen to the webinar. That's what I said. We are currently at 5,954, which is a little bit scary again, because suddenly now there's going to be profit taking, which is why I am thinking of reducing my holdings and taking some profit. The only thing that gives me some confidence, or the main thing that gives me some confidence, that this could actually break through and go higher. And Goldman Sachs, remember, was saying that they thought go to 666, spooky, mark of the devil, as a high for this year. The only thing that makes me think that we might be on for another bounce is yesterday we bounced again off the bond market scary zone. So it could be that we are going to have yet another push that will get us through the 6,000. But I am watching all of this like a hawk at the moment. So that is the thinking. And again, it's joining the dots. The bond market is bigger than anything else. Pension funds are invested in it. The bonds are invested in by the hedge funds and everybody else. If this goes, the whole financial system will collapse. And that is what went on the 9th of May. And yesterday we were there again. So basically, we're back in this, what the heck do we do move? But my thinking is I am going to hedge. And I say that's why I bought some more crypto, and I bought more gold yesterday as well as. So if we have a look in here, this is the charts that I look at every day. And I am looking constantly to see where the big money is flowing. And teasingly, we made the move up. And again, I said recently, if the dollar index broke 100, where would I anticipate it would struggle first? And it touched it almost to the pip and bounced off, was the monthly 55, which is why we use these EMAs. Now, this could be a reversal. This could be a pullback for a long. 100 is massive. So the bond market bounced there yesterday. The S&P is nearly up at 6,000. The Nasdaq's moving up. And at the moment, the dollar is holding above 100. So all of this is going through my mind every day. Then we're having a look to see what's happening. And then when you look at forex, the logical thing is, to be a more profitable trader is to reduce the amount of losing trades. So you're not going to go longing the British pound at the minute here unless you've got much for brains. Because why? Because when it came up in September last year, it bounced to the pip off this area. And therefore, the probability, the likelihood of it rejecting here, and it was a big area back in 2022 as well, the probability of it bouncing down and rejecting there, as it did again 2-3 weeks ago, is greater than not. So you may be frustrated that you're not getting the A-grade trades back here to go long on this, but at the very least, it should be keeping you out of potential losers. Can we get rid of that poll, Ashley? Because I can't see what I'm trying to do on the other screen.
Yeah, so now I've ended it.
It's still on my screen. Hang on, I think if I just click it, right, it's gone now. So where am I going now? What am I trying to show you? Hang on a second. Just having a look at the chat box. Okay, what's the link between bond and the S&P? Kelly, so the bond market, if the bond market starts to crash, then when we're going lower and we're getting nearer to hitting the danger zone, then money rushes to gold as a safe haven. When Trump announced that he was postponing the tariffs for 90 days because it was the tariffs that caused the bond market to collapse, then once he announced that, then money then flows back out of gold, back into riskier assets, ergo the stock market and crypto. And that is what happened. So that's why you're watching the link of all of this lot. And so again, where's my mouse gone? So if we go into here, said at the time when the Nasdaq set off, I would anticipate the Nasdaq. Bear in mind the FANG stocks are heavy here. That the Nasdaq is probably going to aim for 22,000 because that's where Wall Street would want to go. And again, probably possibly go through, but I think then it's going to tank. So that's my thinking and my reasoning for all of this. This is the 10-year note, the amount of money that the US government has to pay to attract investors and hedge funds and other countries to invest in their debt. And ultimately, the debt mountain of the US, if Trump pushes through his new tax things, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And there's a lot of countries now, for political reasons and for safety reasons, are thinking, hang on, I'd rather have my money in gold. I'd rather have my money elsewhere other than in the US dollar. And the other part of the US dollar is that the US have weaponized the dollar over the last 50 years, since the Second World War, 70 years, and have done it with Russia of late. And so, as Putin pointed out, not condoning his actions, but they have cut the Russia out of the dollar system, which can cause major problems. And so I look at the dollar, the pound, and the euro. I mean, it's just all of this is silly. Nikkei, and then in here, so gold. I bought some more gold yesterday, and I've shown you this before. Sorry, 3 days ago. So I bought in here about 3.132, and this was a M2 pullback into the 61.8 fib, the 55 EMA, the trend line, previous major support and resistance. But the biggest reason for buying this is I think that everything is going to tank, and therefore this is my insurance policy. And there's talk of gold going to 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 over the next few years. Ray Dalio of Bridgewater is talking about silver potentially going to $300, $400, or $500. And there are lots of other commentators talking about it again. And again, I've covered this in previous sessions. Silver is highly manipulated. There is a physical shortage and there is greater demand. And we have greater demand for anything and shortage, then the price goes up. Now, technically, I also have orders to buy at 31.20 and to buy more at 30,000. So this was partly to help my mate Andy yesterday, but I did buy some more for myself as well. This is one of my mining stocks. This is the one that went up 260% last year. I have been buying this steadily over the last few months and bought again yesterday at $3.14. And Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, technically, I said if I wouldn't be buying the pound at the moment because I'd have brains for mud. I bought Bitcoin yesterday here because of fundamental reasons, but I also bought it here, and I shared with you I bought it at 76. So I started buying Bitcoin at 8 grand. So my average cost in is still under 50,000, right? More or less. I didn't buy any more Ethereum, although I think the Trump brothers are really having a go at this. So Ethereum was previously up at 4,900. A lot of the smaller tokens are still waiting to break the EMAs, and I'll show you that in a moment. The things that I bought yesterday then, so I bought Bitcoin, and then these are from my A-grade portfolio. So I'll share these with you, and then I say for members of my investing group, I'll be sharing with some of the others, the wacky ones that we'll be having a go at. So this is Bitcoin. Buy yesterday at 105.30. In fact, this is the telegram I sent out to folks. So this is the telegram. My dividend payments is now, that was the week before, May 19. Members of the group, I've put a thing in here. I had to adjust this yesterday because I put the wrong dates in. My interest payments are up to 972.62 from the purchases up to the 16th of March. So that was that one. Intending to scale out and trim and sell some stocks. Made a lot of profit in the last 6 weeks, but concerned everything will drop again. Watching closely. Moved some cash from stocks account to crypto and just added the following from my A-grade portfolio. I bought Bitcoin at 105.330. I bought Solana at 166. There are ETFs going on. There are companies adding Solana to their treasury. Bought some more of that. Bought a bit more Cardano. I bought this originally at 5 cents and I've got quite a lot of it. Link I haven't bought yet because it hasn't broke. That was an error, so I said it was actually Litecoin. I bought some Litecoin at 99.23, some HBAR at 19.22, and some XLM at 0.286. And then for a silly one, because my wife likes silly ones, and somebody recommended it, we put a few $100s in a silly one called Pudgy Penguins. It's daft, it's nuts, but it might be the one that makes more than all the rest of them. And if it's not, well, you've lost the price of a drive in a Ferrari for a half an hour. So as ever, it's not financial advice. And then I said, but I suspect that Bitcoin could go up in the near future. I could, of course, be 100% wrong and it could drop like a stone. If so, I have funds waiting to buy more lower down. So that's what I sent out to members of the investing group. These are the areas where I bought. MicroStrategy is one of the best stocks, well, the best stock I ever bought. We made 1,400% on this year and actually got out perfectly at the top, which I shared on Twitter. So my most recent purchase of MicroStrategy was at 320, an M2 break of a trend line, a fib level, and the 55 EMA. Again, more fundamentals than anything, but that is up in the last few weeks, 35%. MicroStrategy, this is a double ETF, so you get twice the risk of the actual stock. So I did buy a little bit of this the other day. If this pops, then I make twice as much as I do on MicroStrategy. I also have MicroStrategy in the high yield stocks. So I've not done Ethereum. This was the Solana buy. So Solana has broken the trend line, broken the EMAs, broken the fibs. It's not broken a recent area of major support and resistance, but there is a lot going on with Solana in the background, and the possibility of an ETF is much greater. And I never buy a crypto unless I think, well, apart from Bitcoin, unless I think it can make at least 35% to recent highs. This is Cardano. Again, broke the trend line the other week. You could have adjusted the trend line again to here or to here, broken everything. So that was the initial buy. I bought it yesterday on a pullback. Again, it has the potential to make more. And the all-time high on this was $3.10. So this has the potential to make a lot. Charles Hoskins is part of the group discussing with the SEC about setting up regulation in America. And then Link, I didn't buy Link, although I have an alarm set here because this one hasn't quite broken the trend line and the EMAs. It did the other day and pulled back in, but at the minute it's in here. Litecoin was the one I did buy. We'd broken the trend line, we broke the EMAs, I bought in here, got the chance for 35%. The all-time high, I seem to recall on this, was $400 as well. I didn't buy any XRP yesterday because I did buy some in April at 220. I also bought some at $2, $2.5. Again, major mainstream, could even replace Swift in the future. And then HBAR, this was the one that I sent the telegram out to the investing group on the 11th of November, and it went up 500% in 3 weeks. We took profit along the way. If you didn't, you were nuts. I bought more at the 11th of April at 16 and a half, bought some more on the 22nd of April at 19 and a half, and I bought some more yesterday at 19 and a half again. But again, it's broken all this lot. XLM is the last one that I bought again yesterday. Again, broken the trend line, broken the EMAs, broken. I don't always wait for pullbacks when it comes to crypto because sometimes it just sets off and goes. I am watching PAXG at the moment, which is tied to gold. The reason why I'm interested in this is that the gains on crypto in Portugal are tax-free if you hold it for more than 12 months. So if I had all my current gold sat in PAXG, which is regulated, I think, via New York, I wouldn't have any tax to pay on this. Whereas with gold, I have got to pay tax. Bought a bit more Sui yesterday. This is a more speculative one. And this is Pengu. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. But she liked it. And she's actually her crazy portfolio sometimes percentage-wise is doing better than mine. But when it goes wrong, it goes bad. And then I didn't buy this one. And this is a good example. And if you have a look at lots and lots of cryptos at the minute, they are still stuck either behind a trend line or they are stuck below the EMAs. And many, many times you will see them reject, reject, and reject. Now the 55 is rolling over, so it is one to watch going forwards. Right, now what have I got on here? Trading view, we've just been through all of that, gone through that. So the reasons for a lot of this. Now, one of my stocks, so one of my best stocks, my second biggest holding is Coinbase. I've explained this to you in the past. I explained this again 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, et al. Coinbase is the biggest regulated broker in the USA and clean, as opposed to Binance, where the CEO went to jail for a bit and there's a lot of negativity. BlackRock are also rumored to be using Coinbase as their custodians. And I explained that the more pro-Trump, the more people come into crypto, start to use it, especially Americans, and now Trump and his people are pro-crypto, then Coinbase, by definition, should go up. It went up 24% the other day on top of the massive gains we've already made. And so where's my that going? And we're looking here. As you will see, I have a ton of things going on all the time. Don't help myself trying to keep up with all of this. So this is Coinbase. And Coinbase, we were buying in the summer around 150. And we started to buy this last year. I can't remember now. I think it was around $25. Here we had a break. Here we had another M2 break. But this is to do with the probability. Now, as it was, I did buy some more in here the other day at $200 because I thought it was cheap. I had previously bought some more at 150 because it was very cheap. And it's again, I was saying to folks in the Telegram group, I was buying here, here, and here. So it's gapped up because of the S&P scenario. Once a company moves into the S&P, I can't remember, I think it's legal in America. If you're a certain size fund, you have to hold some of the top stocks. I think that's correct in America. So that was the logic of that. And then you've got Senator Loomis, who has always been pro-crypto, is talking about the stablecoin deal being on the cards for crypto in America. And again, I explained about this. The stablecoin companies to issue stablecoins have to hold American T-bills. And so if China and Japan have stopped buying American debt, the stablecoin companies have to do. So it may actually be a super clever way to reduce the debt or to reduce the bond prices for the American government. So that's kind of a drip of the positive news. And then there's some more blockchain news today. This Thursday is Pizza Day. Anybody, any idea while I grab a quick drink, what's the significance of pizza? Anybody know? I know, but I'm smart, as says Julian. Dan said, well done, Julian. Some dude bought a pizza with like 100 Bitcoin, said Dan. Well, you're near, Dan. It actually was 10,000 Bitcoin. So the first transaction for Bitcoin on a blockchain was 10,000 Bitcoin was exchanged for two pizzas. Imagine if you were still sat on them. Most expensive pizza of all time. And then the other thing is that's going on in the background is that Elon Musk and Visa are partnering up more for an X money account. Musk is very pro crypto, and partly why I own some of the cryptos I do because I think, and like Doge, Doge is a silly one. Doge is one of the silly ones I actually have bought because of Musk's link with Doge, and we've done rather well out of it. SEC is going to ease the rules about issuing tokens, positive for crypto. Strategy. So this is MicroStrategy I showed you. This was the stock we made 1,400% on last year, which was insane. This is what they're buying, and they're still buying. And they keep buying, and they bought 105. And I said in January, he's nuts. And yet I paid 105 for it yesterday. They just keep buying it and pumping it. And then what else have we got? DeFi Development Corporation purchased 16,447 Solana, becoming the leading Solana treasury company. Remember, this is companies that are holding crypto on their balance sheet instead of US dollars. And I also talked about the probability of an ETF for Solana. Just showed you. We were buying it last year at 80. It's at what, 160, 170 now. All-time high, I think, was 250. That's why I bought some more tomorrow. Then Bitcoin, top crypto buyers vying for a dinner with Trump. Trump coin, many people would claim that the Trump token launched by the Suns was a classic pump and dump. I would not wish to comment for legal reasons, but I understand exactly where they're coming from. But the top holders are all getting a free dinner with Trump. Wasn't really free, cost them a lot of money. And then you've got various things going on that you'll find in the mainstream press. And this is the Financial Times. I can't believe how left-wing the Financial Times is these days. They're so woke, it's embarrassing. But the Trump brothers, again, they're at it again. They're backed a crypto company that has just launched, and it is going to be listed on the NASDAQ. So American Bitcoin, the US cryptocurrency miner. So that's positive for crypto. Bhutan, Bitcoin reserves are already common currency. And then treasuries. So these are companies, most of which are in the USA, and this is the amount of Bitcoin they currently hold on their treasury. So MicroStrategy is clearly the biggest. I'm not sure what that number is. I always get confused with big numbers. Is that 140 trillion? No, it's not 40 trillion, 40 billion. Marathon Digital Holdings, they are miners. And the miners, when the price is down, have to sell their Bitcoin, which then means there's more Bitcoin available, which reduces the price. While for Marathon now, because the price is up, they are able to hold on to more. So they're holding 44.5 billion, 60 billion that MicroStrategy sat on. Riot is another miner. They're sat on that figure. Galaxy is another miner. Tesla still holds a chunk of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So all of these companies directly are holding crypto on their balance sheets. Other companies are investing in these companies. So a few years ago, when Charlie Munger from not BlackRock, my mind's gone completely blank. Warren Buffett's partner, when he was talking about crypto as rat poison, they were actually invested in MicroStrategy at the time. So some of these companies who claim not to be involved can indirectly be involved by, of course, owning the stock. And then this is showing you they've got public companies. There's 108 now hold Bitcoin on the treasury, private companies, governments. There are 12 governments holding Bitcoin. And some of the states in America are also looking to hold Bitcoin. Now, this is part of the portfolio I am creating for a friend. He's got $20,000 in an ISA in the UK. And what I've tried to do is to balance it. So these are what he bought the other day. So we bought on the 6th of May, 5 Coinbase at 196.94, 64. I think today it's at 270. So we bought some there, and there. I was hoping it was going to pull back. Bought a bit of MicroStrategy as well. Bought some Wolf, which is a miner, Mara, and Riot. And all of those are up nicely at the minute. Now, these are a few of the mining stocks. I can't show them all because it's not fair to my investing group. But we bought some Heckler, Gold Miner, First Majestic Silver, and Endeavour Silver. Endeavour Silver is the one I just shown you, was the one that we made 260% on last year. And then we've got some A-grade stocks as well as. Finally, quickly, so I let Ashley have his 20 minutes or so of fame. And I always never leave him with enough time, bless him. Let's go back to here. I'll show you what I'm thinking now with stocks. So stocks I bought recently in the dip. So around the 9th of April, when we had that bond scenario. So MicroStrategy, I've been a constant buyer. Coinbase, I bought more. So this is 8th, 9th of April. That was part of the reasoning. Major previous support and resistance, etc. But the bond situation. And then I didn't buy TCM directly. I bought this as, I think I've got this as one of my high yield stocks. Tesla, as I say, I don't own it per se, but I did buy it as the investing stock as well, the high yield stock. So that's up 20, 30%. Baba, I sold my Baba, I believe. And then so here we go. So got some Google. Not mad on this. I'm watching this at the minute. It has to get through this 200 EMA in the next few days. Google, obviously, well, is suffering at the moment with a lot of court cases and trying to force them to split off the search engines and everything, which temporarily is in the short term is not good for them. But they're heavily involved in so many different projects, including quantum computing. And I did buy quite a few quantum computing stocks recently, just small amounts in there, but they're all well up as well. And that's again from the 9th. So Google at the minute, I'm cost averaged in here. I would get, if we get back down here, I'm going to get out. Palantir, I've done really well out of Palantir. So I bought some Palantir in March at 85, and then after the April scenario, I bought some more at 71, and that of today is up at 90%. Now, I did take some off the other week when we got up near the double top. I believe in the balance to go. It's all-time highs. The one thing with Palantir is one of the things is they get a lot of contracts with the American government and for the military. There was a big, massive deal done with Saudi Arabia the other day with the military spending and defense and weapons. So this could go higher. But basically what I've got left now is bought and paid for. If I hadn't taken profit already, let's say I put $1,000 into this, my $1,000 is now up at $1,800, $1,900. I would take the 900 out. and then it's just completely risk-free. And if it drops, I can buy more on dips. Meta, I bought Meta, so I'm cost averaged in here, 535. It gapped up the other week on positive news. So if I'm in here, we're up 17, 18%. Again, I'm just watching to see, but if we get anywhere up here, I'm out. Nvidia, I bought in here and in here. So again, we are up cost averaged at 23%. Again, watching, but anytime you start getting up here, guys, is the time to be thinking at the very least to take some profit or to take your initial stake out. Microsoft, again, all of these companies, they're heavily into AI. They're also into quantum computing. They're also into cloud storage. And therefore, I do want some exposure to them, but they could suffer the most if we get a crash. So again, that's up 26%, and we're now at a double top, watching it like a hawk. And what I tend to do, I don't use stops when I start, but I will put a stop in this at 425 in case of a crash. Amazon, again, wanted to buy this for ages. Longer term, I think it's a no-brainer. In the short term, I will take some profit off from that as well. So a quick run around the block, showing you all the different things I've been up to and why, and hopefully giving you an idea of trying to build something that's balanced so you've not got everything tied up in the stock market. I think I've answered all the questions, and I've left Ashley with 17 minutes. Pierre apologizes today. He didn't get the post done for Earth and Sky because he left his phone charger at the farm last night, and you don't go driving around farm areas in South Africa in the middle of the night. So he will do that later today. Ashley,